everybody, welcome back to Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. And here on the YouTube channel, this time out, we're going to do an unboxing. Got another product here from Audioscape. This is the V-Comp Compressor, the replica or the duplication of the stay level, which is really, really cool. Audioscape has been really cool to send this to me, and we're going to unbox it today. I'm going to show you the packaging, talk to you about some of the specs. And then in a follow-up video, we're going to do a bunch of sound examples. So before we get to that, if you like what you see in this video, please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting new content. Thank you so much for doing that in advance. Audioscape. Now, if you have not seen the video that we did with the Audioscape Opto Compressor, the LA2A, look in the description box below. Go check that out. That was a really cool video. We did a bunch of sound examples. We did an unboxing. Really, really cool. Audioscape is a company I'm fairly new to. I told you in that last video with the LA2A that they're a small company out of Florida that builds all their components one at a time completely by hand. They make a handful of different types of classic gear replicas, everything from 1176s to LA2As to LA3As, the stay level. They make some Pultec EQ stuff and much more. Now check the link in the description box if you want to check out Audioscape and what they have to offer. They're a small little company, as I said, out in Florida. They're really good people. The owner is really hands-on as far as sourcing the components to make sure that they get the right components for these units, and they're not just cheap knockoffs. They're made of really high quality, and I was really impressed with the Opto Compressor, hence the LA2A, and he sent me now the V-Comp, the stay level. So full disclosure, they have given me this unit here free of charge, so I can do this unboxing and then the subsequent review video when we listen to the V-Comp. So know that up front, but we have not talked about what I'm going to say in the review or the unboxing or anything like that. He just pretty much said, hey man, you like the LA2A, you want to check out our V-Comp, give us an honest opinion on what you think. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, put it back in the box and send it back. So all the dialogue I've had with Chris over at Audioscape, really, really cool guy, man. Really great business philosophy. I really encourage you to at least go check out their website and see what they have to offer. Now, just keep in mind that most times when you go to their website, most of their units are out of stock because they're all built by hand one at a time. And because in today's world, 2021, where they're having some shortages on getting some components around the world, they're limited quantities to what they have. But when they have things that are ready for sale, and usually every week they put a handful of units up for sale that they've completed. It's usually on their Instagram page or their Facebook page, and you have to just be the first in line to go to their website and purchase their stuff. And so you want to keep an eye out for it. And I encourage you guys to take at least a good look at them, because I've been really, really impressed with the LA2A. I've been using it now, or the Opto Compressor, for a while. And so I'm really excited to try this. They seem like it's a little bit different of a kind of a philosophy that Audioscape has, as opposed to some of the other companies that make replicas of the classic gear. These guys seem to be a step up above that, and we're going to check it out. We're going to unbox this today, and we're going to take a look at the build quality, talk about some of the specs. So I hope you find that cool. So let me get out my trusty knife here, and let's go ahead. Now, the one thing I will say, just like with the Opto Compressor, the LA2A, thing was packaged beautifully, really well packaged. Box arrived no problem. I like that they put little stickers on here saying there's an electronic device in here. Do not crush, do not stack, which is good for the FedEx or UPS drivers to make sure they handle the package with care. They have stickers even on the side of the box that you can see maybe here. Actually, you can see it over here, where they tell you this, this is the way that the package should be, this side up, so they don't flip it upside down. That's all really cool. Not a lot of companies do that, and they even have on this, or actually on this side, a fragile sticker, and they also have that on the other side as well. So let's unbox this thing. Lots of layers of tape here. Let's see what we have, and then what I'll do is I'll get out the iPhone and I'll put some close-up video of it so you can see it. Their last box that they sent me was packaged really well as well. Very impressed with the packaging. They remind me of the way Universal Audio packages their Apollo interfaces. That was the first thing that I noticed with the way the foam and everything was packed inside. Let's see if this is the same here. Okay, so here we go, here we go. All right, so on top here we just have a piece of cardboard to protect everything on the top. And let me get out the iPhone here and show you the inside of the box. This is just like they did with the Opto. So let me get some footage here for you, and I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see it. Hopefully the lighting will be okay.
Okay, we got some lighting here with the iPhone. So here we go. So here's the inside. They give you a nice little cozy here for your beverage with a couple of stickers, which is really nice, really cool. Okay, and what I really like, and this is what reminds me of the Apollo, the Universal Audio stuff. They have these nice foam inserts on either side of the unit. This is exactly how the Apollos are packaged. Same exact foam. This is really nice, and they even put some extra foam here, so it makes sure that it doesn't slide side to side in packaging. Some companies don't do that, which astonishes me with a piece of electronic equipment, that they make it so it's a tight fit on either side with some extra foam to make sure that this thing does not get jostled around. They put some packaging paper up front here, which is really good. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. So that's the inside of it. Now the other thing that they do here, and we'll talk about this in a second, I'll actually probably take a photo of this and put this on the screen here so you can read along, but all the specs. They have this nice laminated piece of cardboard that tells you about the unit. We have the V-Comp Plus here, and all the different features and the specs, and we'll read through that together in a couple of seconds. It's a really nice touch. So that's the inside of that. We'll stick that on the side, and then here's the unit inside with a nice heavy bag here and the two pieces of foam. So let me put down the iPhone here for a quick second, and let's take this out of the box, shall we? So let's get rid of this piece of foam, and then let's pull this out of the box the best I can without dropping it. Okay, let me get this out here. What else we got? We got the power cable inside. We're gonna need that. Throw that over there for now. And another piece of bubble wrap on the bottom. So let's get this out on the table. First thing I'll tell you is the thing weighs a ton, which is great. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. Now this is a 3-space unit, which is going to fill up my second rack, and now we're going to be out of space for gear. How about that? We're going to have to buy another rack, or stop buying gear. That isn't going to happen, I have a feeling. I don't know why. All right, so. Okay, we got some nice packing tape on the side of the bag here. Try not to destroy this if we can. Let me just kind of cut this a little bit here. Be careful. Don't scratch the unit. All right. So let's take this out, and I'll get the iPhone on it and give you guys a close-up of this unit here. Okay, so the first thing we notice on the back is we got a big honking transformer on the back, just like the original gate stay level. We'll take a look at that a little bit more closely in a second. Okay, let me put this down here. Let me just inspect this quickly, and then we'll get the iPhone on it. Okay. Let me get the phone out here. Let me show you the front of it and look at the build quality. So here we go. Okay, a little bit bright there. So we have our build quality, big military grade knobs, very smooth feeling. Toggle switches. We got a stepped recovery timer release. Feels good. We have our mode switch, again stepped, feels really good. Got a nice BU meter here in the center. Looks identical to the stay level, the gate stay level. Nice little Audioscape badge here again. Nice rugged switches. Smooth as silk, really, really nice. That's the front of the unit. There you go. They say they make replicas, they're not kidding. Okay, let's turn this around now. Let's see the back here so you guys can see what we got in the back. Okay, so here is the big transformer here on the back. Okay, we have our power socket, and then we have our input and output XLR. Now if we can get maybe a little look inside here, we'll talk about the different components and the specs in a second, just to see. We should see a bunch of tubes in there, and we do. We see a bunch of tubes down there, a bunch of tubes over here. Another big honking transformer here, another set of tubes here. I'm not going to take this thing apart, that's for sure. But let's take a look, let's take a listen, or take a listen. Let's read through the specs here for a second. Actually, I'll put this like this so you guys can see this a little bit better. Let's get out our spec sheet here, and again, I'll put something on the screen so you can read along with me. So let's take a look here. So again, we have a nice laminate cardboard piece here. They include these with every one of their units. So this is the V-Comp Plus. So they make a V-Comp and a V-Comp Plus. And I believe the Plus has a couple extra features here, and I'll maybe put
a spec sheet of the V-Comp up on the site, on the video as well, so we could see what the difference is. So anyway, what does it say here? Thank you for purchasing the V-Comp Plus from Audioscape, a deluxe version inspired by the legendary V-Comp compressor from the mid-1950s. The V-Comp Plus is a great addition to any studio, capable of effortlessly bringing any program material to life with a fat, warm tube grit. So this is a V-Comp compressor. It's going to be very fat. It is going to be fat and warm, and it's just going to be thick sounding, I have a feeling. And it gives you the sense of weight that you've heard on countless records. That's their little thing. So let's talk about the features here. So their features, they have an expanded recovery mode times. They have 9 in total, and I think that's the difference between the Plus version, which we have, and the regular version. We have additional recovery or release times. They have 9 on this one. They have an input gain toggle switch. They have an OG style meter, a jewel lamp or LED. Okay, so those are the features that make it different. So the differences between the V-Comp and the V-Comp Plus is that you have an input gain toggle switch, the extra recovery times, and you also have a power light, a jewel that's on the front that's different than the other unit. So a couple extra features. They have a transformer balance, this is a transformer balance V-Comp tube compressor. It features a premium 6386 tube, resulting in absolute sonic authenticity and total of 7 tubes. So there's 7 tubes inside of here, using the premium 6386 tube, which is supposed to be an absolute sonic replica of the stay level, the gate stay level. It's a 3-rack mount unit featuring period correct reproduction meter and vintage 1950 style knob. So it looks exactly like original stay level. The only difference is their little badge says Audioscape and not Gates, or Retro, who also makes a copy of this as well. They have premium capacitors and period correct carbon composition resistors utilized throughout the unit. All high quality name brand parts are sourced from US based distributors. So that's really cool. Okay, so they're getting all of their stuff from US based distributors. I wasn't aware of that. They have an adjustable attack time, release recovery time, and compression bypass feature for a pleasant saturation and increased harmonics. They use Nutric XLR in and output connectors, which are, industry standard. So the specs is we have up to 40 dB of gain reproduction, a frequency response of 20 Hertz to 20K, a noise level of negative 80 dB plus or minus 5 dB, 30 dB of gain. We have 3 attack modes, 9 release modes, and then we have a threshold of plus 24 dB to negative 20 dB. It is 3 spaces, 3 U high, it weighs 16 pounds, and then it even lists all the tubes here. They have a 6386, they have a 12AT7, a 6AL5, an OB2, a 6V6, another 6V6, and a 5Y3. So again, that's the spec sheet. And again, I'll put it up on the screen so you can take a look at it. You can read along with me. Really cool, looks just like the unit. It is built like a tank. It definitely weighs a ton, that's for sure. Again, the thing I like about Audioscape is that it's really rugged. It doesn't feel, sometimes when we talk about companies that make replicas, or for lack of a better word, knockoffs of the classic gear, at a fraction of the cost, and I mentioned this in the other video when we talked about the Opto Compressor, I believe this unit, check their website for current pricing. I believe it's $15.99 or $14.99. It's in that ballpark, right? It's less than $2,000 for sure. I think it's $15.99 for the Plus, maybe $13.99 or $14.99 for the regular non-Plus model. If you were to buy a Gates or a Retro rep, the other company that makes this, a Retro, the other popular one, I think it's twice that price. I think it's $3,000 plus, or pretty close to $3,000. And if you can get an original Gates from the 50s, you're talking about big bucks. But whenever you talk about a company that can make these replicas at really half the price or a fraction of the cost, my concern is always about the craftsmanship, the opponent's choice, and the quality of the components, and because in the craftsmanship of the way they put these things together. And when I first hooked up with Audioscape and talked to the owner, Chris, about it, and we talked about the Opto Compressor, I really understood in talking with him how passionate he is about making sure that number one, that they source the right components to make sure the thing sounds just like the original, that they're not just putting cheap components in this or whatever components they can get at the time. as I said earlier, you know, part of the problem that we have with the worldwide pandemic in 2020 and now in 2021 is there's a component shortage on not just the audio industry, but everywhere. You know, microchips and all these little internal capacitors, resistors, and tubes, they're hard to get right now because of the pandemic. And so that's one of the reasons why Audioscape doesn't always have a lot of units ready to go in stock whenever you want to get them. You got to kind of follow along with what they're doing, and you got to grab it while you can. And that's because they don't just throw any old component into their unit. They want to make sure they have the right components. They want to make sure that they take the time to build these and that they're built well, and that when you pick one up and when you feel one, you go, it doesn't feel like a toy compared to what the original might feel like. It feels like it's a high quality piece of equipment. And that's one of the things that I really respect about Audioscape and why I'm so glad that I finally discovered them and, you know, started to build this little bit of a partnership or relationship with them, because as I'm building out my hybrid studio, and you guys have been following along here, I've been picking up very, you know, selective pieces of gear. Everybody from Blackline Audio to West Audio to Imperial Labs to SSL. And now I'm happy to say that I have Audioscape as part of that family, because I'm all about not having the most amount of gear. I want a limited amount of gear, but the gear that I have, I want it to be high quality. I want it to last a lifetime, hopefully, and I want it to sound great. And so far, I have not been disappointed with the Opto Compressor, the LA2A that I wanted to have, and I've always wanted to have a stay level, and I was ready to pull the trigger on a retro stay level, but these guys said, hey, check this one out and see if you love it. So that is our unboxing of the Audioscape V-Comp Plus. Come back for the next video in about a week or so after I played with this. We're gonna patch this into the SSL. We're gonna listen to this on all kinds of things: acoustic guitar, electric guitar, vocals, piano, synthesizers, drums. We're gonna try it on a whole bunch of different things and see how it sounds. And I hope you join me for that next video. So let me know in the comments below if you are familiar with Audioscape at all. Have you ever tried any of their other units? And if you have, which ones do you like? They make a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't tried everything yet. This is only the second unit. But I'd love to check out some of their other stuff in the future. But I'd like to hear from you. Which units do you have by them? And if you've never checked out Audioscape, go to the link in the description box below. Shoot out to their website, and if you have any questions, I can tell you, one of the things that turned me on to these guys, aside from the fact they seem to make a really great product, is that the customer service is fantastic. Again, I sent out an email just like any of you would to their website, and the owner of the company responded to me. How many companies nowadays does that happen with? Very few. Small company, very hands-on, will answer any question that you really have about any of their units. And when I first met them, I asked a bunch of questions, and they didn't just brush me off, they didn't just push me aside. They really took the time to really respond and really talk to me about their stuff, about their philosophy. And that's why I gave them a try, and I'm really happy that I did. And I'm hoping that sometime in the near future, I'm gonna get the folks from Audioscape, Chris and maybe some of his other team members on one of our podcast episodes and do like an interview and talk a little bit more in depth about their company, because whenever you have a USA-based, small little company, kind of a mom and pop shop sort of, where they build one unit, hand-built one at a time, if they make a good quality product, I want to try to support that. I'm a small business, they're a small business, and sometimes small businesses and small company entrepreneurs, they're really hands-on and they're really passionate about what they do, and I like that, as opposed to maybe big conglomerates that do a lot of mass production of these types of unit overseas, and you never know what kind of quality you're going to get. Seems to me, if you have a problem with one of their units, you're going to get right to the owner of the company, and they're going to be able to take good care of you if for some crazy reason something happened, as something can always happen. But I like what I see from them so far. So leave comments below, let me know what you think. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed yet to this channel and you're into hybrid mixing, you'll want to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're still a new channel. We only have about 30 videos at this point. We're less than a year old. We're doing everything hybrid mixing, all the way from just having a little surface control with your DAW, all the way up through maybe having a full inline console with a bunch of hardware and everything in between. So if you're into hybrid mixing and you're into all this gear stuff and you want to learn more about it, and you want to, get someone's honest opinion on things, not just someone here trying to sell you something, because I don't get anything if you go buy one of these units from Audioscape. I don't get anything if you buy anything on this website. Just know that this was a sponsored video by Audioscape, and I really appreciate it. But if you want to be informed about this type of stuff, this is the place to be. So until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.